All right, we're going to talk about complete the square to convert to vertex form. So before we've done factoring for vertex form to solve the equation, or excuse me, we've done factoring to complete the square to solve for the quadratic equation. Now we're going to make it into vertex form. So the steps are the same. There's a couple little changes just because we're kind of working backwards instead of solving for y. But here's what we're going to do. Is first we're going to move the constant to the other side. So here, -3, we're going to move this over to the other side by making it a +3. Now, if a does not equal 1, you need to factor out a between the terms of the x variables only. So notice a is 5, so we're factoring out 5 from this only. And then whatever is left over from this part goes inside the parentheses. All right, now we need to identify b, which is the coefficient of the x term. So take b and substitute into b divided by 2 squared to find c. So that we've done before. And then now we're going to add c to the terms in parentheses. If you factored out the coefficient of a, multiply c by a, and then add the value to the left side to balance. Very important. So here we figured out what b, so here we had to make our trinomial by doing that. And then remember, we're not just adding a 1 over here, we're adding a 5 because of that, because it's 1 times 5. So you're adding to both sides. Then you're going to go ahead, and once you've got that, you're going to make this into that. So you're going to do a trinomial, binomial, smushing it in there. I'll rewrite that a little bit better. So trinomial to a binomial, and then once you've got the binomial, combine like terms to the left side and factor the parentheses as a square of a binomial. So again, what we did was we took this 5, we added it over here, we combined these terms to give you 8, and then we made, like I said, this into your binomial squared. Now we're going to take this 8, move it back over, so we have it on that side. And then now, this is in vertex form. So what we're going to do is we're going to decide the direction the parabola opens, write it in vertex form, state the vertex, and then graph it. So it's a lot of parts. So first off, let's go ahead and let's start right here. So we're going to subtract 1 because we're moving this one over here. And then now we have y minus 1 equals 2x squared plus 4x. So now we need to factor out 2 from each term, and you are left with x squared plus 2x inside the parentheses. Now that we've done that, now we need to make our trinomial. So we have to make our trinomial by doing this part right here. So you're taking this, substitute into here, so you get 2 over 2, which is 1, square it, that equals c. So 1 is where we got that. Now remember, we have to add to both sides. So it's not just a 1, it's really a 2 times 1, which gives you a +2. So we have this, we combine these to make +1. We wrote this as a binomial squared. And then now the last part is, now we got to move this guy over here. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides, and then we have our equation, y equals 2x plus 1 squared minus 1. So this is your equation, but now we need to go ahead and do some of the information that I asked for. So right now we know that this is positive, so it's going to open up because it's a positive a. Now here's where you have to be careful, because when we need to write the vertex, see this plus sign right here? You need to watch out because it's really 2 negatives right next to each other. So h is actually -1. Now k, we don't have to worry about all that. H is the only one we got to watch out for. And then that's going to go right here. So that's your vertex. So we're going to plot our vertex. And then you can substitute in, so I would just go over here and then substitute in 0. And then once you substitute in 0, you know y is going to be -1. So when x is 0, y is 1. And then you're just going to reflect it over here, because if this is your line of reflection, what you got this way, you got to go that way. So you're going to go there. Or you can do 1a, 3a, 5a. So you go ahead, if a is 2, so you're going to go vertex, you're going to go over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6, but we ran out of space, and then you're going to do the same thing here. Over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6, and then repeat, but we ran out of space. So to graph either way is fine. All right, and on this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this equation and we're going to put it into vertex form. So first we need to add 6 to both sides. We're going to get y plus 6 equals -2x squared plus 8x. And then now we have to, since a is not 1, we have to factor out a -2 for both of these terms. So -2, and then whatever's left over, you have x squared minus 4x. And then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our trinomial. So we're going to take this and we're going to plug this into here, which gives us -4 over 2, which is -2. Square it, and you're going to get 4. So then this is where that came from. So you have your trinomial, then you're going to go from your trinomial to your binomial. Now to go from here, remember you just divide that by 2, and then that's going to give you your b value, and then write it squared. Now, very last part, we combine these terms over here because I forgot to say when we added our 4 here, it's not really a 4, it's really a -2 times 4, so that's where we got our -8 here. All right, now combine those, get that, and we're going to move this 2 back to the other side, and you're going to get y equals -2 x minus 2 squared plus 2. So since this is already negative, we're okay. This is your h, this is your k value, and then that's why your vertex is 2, 2. So I plotted that right here. Now we need to figure out, it opens down because you have a -a. So since a is negative, it's going to open down, which means it goes like that. All right, and then again, you can pick one spot. So they decided to pick the 1. Since we're at 2, just go 1 over. And you can substitute it in and then go ahead solve. And so you get y equals 0. So we said when x is 1, y is 0. That's one way to do it. Or if you want to do your 1a would be 1 times -2. So that means that we would go to the right 1 and down 2, to the right 1, and then 2 times 3 would be 6, which is down here. And then you're going to reflect it. You're going to go to the left 1, down 2, to the left 1, and down 6, which would be down here. So either way, you're going to get a parabola that looks like that. And then that. So you're going to go through, you're going to finish those two, and then that is how you complete the square to convert to vertex form.